What is going on with the relationship between Trump and Netanyahu? Is Trump working for Netanyahu? Do we have another president, as I explain later on, that cannot put Netanyahu in his place?
This is the Publisher's Desk with Damon K. Jones, brought to you by Black Westchester Magazine, where life, culture, community, and faith meet truth, power, and purpose.
Peace and blessings, everybody. I'm Damon K. Jones, and welcome once again to the Publisher's Desk with Black Westchester Magazine, blackwestchester.com. We're the news with the Black point of view. What is going on with the relationship between Trump and Netanyahu? Is Trump working for Netanyahu? Do we have another president, as I explain later on, that cannot put Netanyahu in his place? President Trump rose to power on a promise that he will cut through decades of the political noise and literally put America first. Now, this was a bold statement. It was simple, but it spoke to millions of people who were tired of watching their country sink while politicians spent money everywhere else. But the promise and slogans mean nothing, brothers and sisters, if the results tell a different story. And the results today look less like America first and look more like Netanyahu first. Let's deal with the facts. In Trump's current term alone, more than $12 billion in U.S. military aid has already been approved for Israel. That's on top of the $38 billion package Barack Obama locked in back in 2016, guaranteeing Israel $3.8 billion every single year for 10 years. This is the largest military aid deal in U.S. history. Think about that. The first Black president secured billions for a foreign government while telling Black people that reparations were politically impossible. Israel got guaranteed checks. Black America, we just got symbolic speeches, hashtags, and hope. Meanwhile, Americans are told that there's no money for schools, no money for small businesses, no money for reparations, no money for fixing our communities. But when it comes to Netanyahu, there's always money. That's not America first, that's Netanyahu first. Every dollar sent overseas is a dollar not spent at home. The trade-off is brutal. Netanyahu's government gets stronger while the working class Americans, especially Black Americans, get weaker. So how does this keep happening? No matter who's in office, the answer is simple. It's called AIPAC. The American Israel Public Affairs Committee is one of the most powerful lobbies in Washington. They pour millions into campaigns, they pressure lawmakers, and they punish anyone who steps out of line. Pro-Israel money isn't red or blue, it's bipartisan. I'm going to say that again for the people who are not paying attention. Pro-Israel money is not red or blue, it is bipartisan. Democrats and Republicans both feed at the same table. AIPAC spent millions to unseat progressives like Jamal Bowman, Andy Levin. They reward loyalty and crush dissent. That's why whether it's Clinton, Obama, Biden, or Trump, the agenda never changes. Netanyahu first. Want proof? I got proof. Representative Majority Taylor Greene introduced an amendment to block $500 million in new aid to Israel.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. As the House considers the defense appropriation bill today that costs the American people $831 billion, it's important to talk about that this is the funding for our great men and women serving in our military and our nation's defense. The Department of Defense's mission statement is to deter war and ensure our nation's security, and that is worthy of the American people's hard-earned tax dollars. However, the American people are $37 trillion in debt, so this is money that is being spent that they already don't have. My amendment would strike $500 million in funding for nuclear-armed Israel's missile defense system. And it's important to phrase it that way. Israel is a nuclear-armed nation, which is very capable of defending themselves, and they have been proving that so as we've watched on the world stage. The U.S. already provides Israel with $3.8 billion annually in foreign aid. $3.8 billion, that's a lot of money. Additionally, the April 2024 security supplemental included $8.7 billion for Israel. That is nuclear-armed Israel. And during the recent 12-day war, the U.S. used 15 to 20% of our terminal high-altitude area defense missiles stockpiles defending nuclear-armed Israel, which cost us over $800 million. The $500 million provided in this bill will fund Israel's, that is nuclear-armed Israel's, missile defense system, the Iron Dome, David Sling, Arrow system. Yet Israel is a nuclear-armed nation. That's a pretty big deterrent for any of their enemies. Any nation that has a nuclear bomb has the greatest threat against their enemies. U.S. aid typically accounts for 15 to 20% of Israel's defense budget, even though Israel, nuclear-armed Israel, has universal health care for their citizens and subsidized college for their citizens. They're able to provide that. However, here in America, we're $37 trillion in debt. My amendment to strike $500 million in foreign aid will ensure an America First Department of Defense, and that is exactly what we need and we haven't had for a very long time. Mr. Speaker, I reserve.
Gentlelady reserves.
Out of 435 members of Congress, do you know how many supported it? Only 6. She only got 6 votes. Do you think $500 million will do good in communities across the nation? Almost every Democrat and Republican lined up to reject it. That's how deep in lockstep this thing runs, brothers and sisters. Trump supporters thought he would put the brakes on him. Instead, he doubled down. Biden and Harris handed Netanyahu a blank check during the Gaza war, ignoring calls for a ceasefire. Obama locked in billions while telling the black community to wait. Clinton did the same thing. Different faces, same outcome. Netanyahu first, America second. And what did Black America get in return for decades of loyalty to the Democratic Party? We got speeches, we got hashtags, we got symbolic representation. But the hard outcomes, economic development, reparations, strong schools, real ownership, it never came. Black communities look the same. Under Republican or Democrat, they look the same. After the Holocaust, the world recognized its duty to repair the damage. Germany paid billions in reparations to survivors and to the state of Israel. 6 million Jews were killed, and the world made sure their suffering was not ignored. When it comes to the 12 million Africans lost in the Middle Passage, not to mention 200 years of slavery, racial terror, systemic oppression, and laws that were on the books of the United States government, they have the omitted gall and say reparations is too complicated or it's politically impossible. And here's some of the false arguments we hear a lot of these influencers say, especially some of these Negro black ones that are on AIPAC's payroll or pro-Israel money. They say, why would people today pay for what happened in the past? That's a lie. Reparations are not about making individuals pay for history. Reparations is about making the U.S. government pay for the laws, the policies, and the state-sanctioned terror it opposed on black people for centuries. For over 200 years, this government enriched itself off of free labor, off our families being torn apart, off our blood. The bill is not from the past. The bill is still due. This country was built on our backs. I don't care what anybody says. The cotton, the railroads, the banks, the universities, the White House, all built from slavery. And even after emancipation, you had Jim Crow, lynching, redlining, mass incarceration. Those weren't accidents. They were policies enacted by the United States government. They were laws, and every one of them carried out a cost that was dumped on Black America. So when we demand reparations, we're not asking for charity. We're demanding payment for a debt owed, a debt this country has dodged for generations, and they're still dodging it while they send billions to the Israeli government for genocide that they call defense.
Revenue is so good that they're less than $400 billion in debt. Why is dead broke America having to send $3.8 billion? Well, then they argue back and they go, oh, but this helps America's economy. Well, how is that? Tell me how it helps. Okay, well, because we buy money from your defense contractors. Although guess what? This is really interesting. We give a ton of money to all these foreign countries. And if it's military aid, they're required to purchase weapons from our defense contractors. Except Israel is the only one with an exception. They don't have to buy from our American defense contractors. They can use that money to buy from Israeli defense contractors.
Oh, wow.
So there's a funny little exception.
Why aren't our Black leaders talking about this? Why aren't our Black elected officials talking about this? Oh, wait. Maybe our Black elected officials is getting AIPAC money too. Something, Black folk. Did you actually think that these elected officials worked for you? Did you actually think that they worked for you? You never wondered why we couldn't get a reparations bill passed? Because they're getting money from AIPAC. Your Black elected officials, they're all on the AIPAC payroll, while Black communities are starving. But every year, you take your little vote, Black America, and you vote for these Black elected officials, and every year they send $8 billion to Israel, but they don't have money for Mount Vernon. They don't have money for Baltimore. They don't have money for Atlanta. They don't have money for the little black communities around the nation. They got money to send to Israel, but they don't dare support reparations for slavery in America. This is what you vote for. You vote for black elected officials that are more dedicated to sending money over to another country than making sure black communities are striving. Look at the Black Mayors Association. Look at all these organizations. None of them have reparations on their website as an agenda for black people. But we give them our vote. We have to stop being so politically silly. And here's where I'm going to make some of you Negroes upset. Charlie Kirk peeled the lever off the onion on AIPAC. He pulled it, whether you like him or not. He exposed what they were doing to young white America. So it's easy to tell black people to hate Charlie Kirk with your foolish self. We're so surface people. We just look at things from the surface. We never go beyond thinking the next step, which is sad. And this is why our communities look like this, because we're surface level Negroes. They want you not to like Charlie Kirk because he started to expose the power that the Israel lobbyists had on America. And it just didn't affect. It affected all people in this country, even poor whites.
Communities have been pushing the exact kind of hatred against whites that they claim to want people to stop using against them. Now, I don't like generalizations. Not every Jewish person believes that. But it is true the Anti-Defamation League was part and parcel with Black Lives Matter. It is true that some of the largest financiers of left-wing anti-white causes have been Jewish Americans. They went all in on woke, and it wasn't just ADL. It was some of the top Jewish organizations in the country. And people misunderstood it intentionally and slandered us as being anti-Semites. But listen to this. Tucker Carlson is completely correct by saying this, that the philosophical foundation of anti-whiteness has been largely financed by Jewish donors in the country. And Jewish donors, they have a lot of explaining to do, a lot of decoupling to do, because Jewish donors have been the number one funding mechanism of radical, open border, neoliberal, quasi-Marxist policies, cultural institutions, and nonprofits. This is a beast created by secular Jews. And now it's coming for Jews, and they're like, what on earth happened? And it's not just the colleges. It's the nonprofits, it's the movies, it's Hollywood, it's all of it. It's like time for you guys to wake up and say no more. Draw a line in the sand. I don't care if you hate me.
I know you're saying, Brother Damon, why are you playing such a racist person? He's racist. You know why? Because I can't find a black person on record that will say what he says about the pro-Israel lobby and pro-Israel organizations and how they fund our agenda. They fund Black Lives Matter, which Black lives never mattered to Black Lives Matter. It felt good, but it literally did nothing for black people for police reform. Absolutely nothing. And I know. But you ever wonder, these so-called black activists, where they're getting their money from? They don't work a day in their lives. But yet they're traveling around the world. It can't be black people, then who is it? Who's funding them?
of influencers. They invite tons of influencers.
Many of whom have invited me. Like, we're all going together, and will you come? Like, they seem to be coming at me from a number of ways, which only really kind of raises my hackles. Like,
now let's look how the pro-Israel lobby brings our black elected officials in. How they put the hammer on them that they could fund money going to a foreign country than fund money coming to the black community.
AIPAC takes every single that they can, freshman member of Congress, their first year in Congress, they take them on a very special trip to Israel in August. August is our recess. It's our month-long district work period. That's
Dems and Republicans, or just Republicans?
They take both of them. Oh. Yes. And they invite pretty much everyone, to my knowledge. So they take them on this trip to Israel. I guess they go on tours all around. I didn't go, so I don't know what they do there. But they take them on tours, like the pictures we've seen recently of the speaker and other members of Congress at the Wailing Wall.
They've all gone.
They've all gone.
You see them all.
And they wear the kippah. Mm-hmm. And even though they're Christians, they're not Jewish, but yet they're adorning Jewish attire, and they're at these Jewish religious sites. Mm-hmm. Then they also meet with different members of the Israeli government. Now, we got to recognize the Israeli government is secular. This is not the biblical Israel. It is the secular government of Israel. And so they meet with their members of all throughout their government, and the prime minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, meets with them. And so they've done that trip already this month. The new freshmen and members of our leadership all went, and they did that trip. Here's what else they do. AIPAC takes influencers. They take really big people like you. They want you to come over there. They want to pull you in because they want to pull you on their side. And why is that? Okay, for members of Congress, every single year, annually, Israel receives, and we have to vote on it, it's a yes or no vote, $3.8 billion in funding for Israel. Number one, Israel is doing so well with their economy, and I'm excited for them. This is a big deal. I wish we were doing this good. We're $37 trillion in debt. Israel is less than $400 billion in debt. Less than. If you're an Israeli citizen, you have government-funded health care and you have government-funded college. So why is America having to give Israel $3.8 billion? If they're doing so great and they're funding health care and college, and their government is their economy is doing so well and their tax revenue is so good that they're less than $400 billion in debt, why is dead broke America having to send $3.8 billion?
Black people, why aren't our black leaders talking about this? Why aren't our pastors talking about this? Did you hear what she said? The country of Israel, they get free health care. They get free college. While our elders are suffering barely to get doctors on their insurance policy. We have babies without health care in America. Health care is so expensive here in America. We can't afford to go to college, but they get free college in Israel. And we give them $8 billion a year of our tax dollars. Pay attention. And nobody's talking about it. Our black leaders got y'all into the Marvel multiverse talking about things that really doesn't matter. Who cares about DEI? We didn't benefit from it anyway. Check out the report from Black Enterprise. They got us marching on Wall Street. but we ain't even got no money to invest in stocks and bonds. So what are you marching on Wall Street for? But the real issue is, why are all our tax dollars going over to another foreign country instead of being reinvested in the communities throughout America? That's what we need to be talking about. It's time that we demand accountability. It's time that we demand outcomes. It's time for America priorities to start at home. And I'm talking to you MAGA people too. You voted for something you're not even getting either. What are you going to do about it? See, because the greatest thing in politics, that there's no permanent friends. There's no permanent enemies in politics. It's just permanent interest. So the question is America going to stand on its interest to be America first? And is Black America is going to take off their blindfold and see what's really going on and be about Black America first so we can lift up all America? The question is to everyone. Please leave a comment and share and let me know. What do you think? What do you think? And thanks for watching, as always, The Publisher's Desk. I'm Damon K. Jones. I am the publisher of Black Westchester Magazine, blackwestchester.com. Please go read the articles and support. And as always, stay safe, stay blessed, and stay blacktastic. Peace out.
Red versus blue. It isn't politics. It's a gang war. My new book, Democrats and Republicans, The Ultimate Gangbangers, exposes how both parties hustle our communities while we get nothing in return. Don't get played. Sign up now at blackwestchester.com to get the latest release date and updates. It's time to break free from the gangs on the block.
Tired of the same emotional politics that lead nowhere. Emotional Politics, Logical Failure by Damon K. Jones is the book Black America needs right now. It exposes the lies, challenges the gatekeepers, and calls for real strategy, not just symbolism. Power starts with truth. On sale, now, and available in audiobook on Amazon.
Tolerance is for Cowards by Damon K. Jones. This book is not anti-police, it's pro-community. Discover how the extended policing strategy empowers you to demand real public safety, justice, and accountability from your local police department. Because the Black community deserves good policing. On sale now on Amazon and Audible. Discover Jesus and Divine Black Masculinity by Damon K. Jones. This a bold blueprint to restore faith, manhood, and purpose in Black America. Because the Black community needs good Black men. Available now on Amazon. If you found this video informative, don't forget to like and share it with others who need to hear the truth. And for exclusive content and behind-the-scenes access, join the Black Westchester Magazine YouTube membership club today. Your support helps us keep independent Black media strong. Support independent Black media with style. Rock Black Westchester merch and represent the news with the Black point of view. Every purchase helps us speak truth to power.
This is The Publisher's Desk with Damon K. Jones, brought to you by Black Westchester Magazine, where life, culture, community, and faith meet truth, power, and purpose.